also have to mount a street-by-street evacuation of anyone living in the path of the fire, an area known as the I-zone or impact zone. For people living here, it's leave now or never.
State Fire Command's ordered the entire street be evacuated. Scotty, oops, take one side, Kate. You take the other.
A door-to-door evacuation is only undertaken when there is no chance of saving the neighbourhood.
A residential community that is essentially surrounded or living amongst a lot of bushland is especially dangerous.
Evacuate these houses. Come on, guys, get in the back. Let's go.
Especially areas where their exit paths can be cut off by the fire front changing direction and moving. It's best just to get people out of that risk area immediately. The Australian experience tends to be pretty good in that people understand how bad bushfires are because so many people have been killed by them, even in recent years.
The whole family's out. You head this way, thanks, down the driveway and up the street. Thank you. Thank you.
Professor! Get down from there now! I will use force if I have to. Lead, you say?
Approaching at 20 kilometers per hour, the firestorm is impossible to outrun, incinerating anything in its path within seconds.
Jump in your vehicles, people, and start to move out. Thank you.
Firestorms are where we see that trees get snapped off by the force of the wind accompanying the fire. We see a total combustion of all of the fine fuel. The history shows us that firestorms can flatten large areas of forest, literally flatten them. When you see fires of that intensity, again, you know that there's very little we could possibly do to fight them in a conventional sense.
Within half an hour of the firestorm hitting the suburbs, a third of Sydney is now engulfed in flames. For some, escape is no longer an option. Having ripped through the suburbs, the firestorm has reached the peak of its ferocity. The heat it is generating is now so extreme that the fire starts behaving in a way that's rarely seen. With the superheated air rising at a phenomenal rate, convection columns carry the smoke to the very edge of space. The firestorm is so massive that the heat belting up from below mixes with the cold air at the top of the atmosphere, creating a unique weather system. The clouds it generates are called pyrocumulus, and within them rages thunder and lightning. Sydney is now almost entirely encircled by fire. With the powerful and unpredictable currents of fast-moving air above the firestorm, embers are spat out, traveling into the heart of the city. With this unrelenting blizzard of burning embers, nowhere in Sydney is safe from the danger of fire. everything now becomes a potential blaze.
Embers can travel into Sydney from bushfires on the prevailing winds. The embers can maintain their temperature, very high temperature levels for vast distances. So at night time, especially in fires, you can see massive waves of embers being pushed along with the winds. It's quite a scary sight to see, but for a firefighter that means that there's major risk wherever those embers land because they can start some major fires.
You! Mate! Yes, you, stay put. What's going on, boss?
Mate, the mains are shot, we've got no water, we've got fuel everywhere. Scotty, come on, get into it.
With Sydney ablaze, its infrastructure goes into meltdown. Communication becomes impossible, and emergency services struggle to cope.
We've lost the power grid. What now, sir?
We've done all that we can. I just hope it turns out to be enough.
The vast heat generated by the firestorm is now having a powerful effect on the weather system it has created. The clouds are becoming saturated with moisture as the heat warms the cooler frozen air molecules above it. The rising heat is also sucking in moist air from the Tasman Sea, and when combined, they create a new kind of storm. Its arrival will be too late for many.
We're not going to lose it. Do whatever it takes.
The firefighters save what they can, until the moment the firestorm begins to destroy itself with rain from its very own clouds. What nature started, only nature can stop. The fire is over, but the danger will always come back. For the bush, fire is just part of the cycle of nature, and it will regenerate fast. But Sydney, brought to its knees by the firestorm, would take years to recover. Hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses would be destroyed. The human loss could be horrific. Climate change brings the possibility of the perfect firestorm closer every year. And every firefighter knows that when that day comes, they will face their greatest test.